Welcome to this talk. Now, very brief video this evening, basically to apologise that I made a mistake on the last video, and we'll come on to it very shortly. So the last video was about this. It was about the German opposition politicians that had been found dead prior to the upcoming elections in Germany. Now, I correctly reported that the probability of these deaths arising by chance, according to this analysis here from Frei News analysis. The first wave of deaths, there was a 1 in 5,809, one chance of that arising by chance in 5,809. Wave 2, it was nearly 250,000, one chance in 247,351 that it arose by chance. So remarkably improbable that this sort of death clustering would occur, according to these analyses. If the German government wants to give us more accurate analysis, of course, we'd love to hear it. But that's the current analysis that we have from that Frei News. Now, this is where we went wrong. Statistically abnormality noted. The cluster of 6 deaths within a short period concentrated on one party. The probability here is 0. That is actually a point. 0.000. 4 zeros 127 or 0.00127%. So the chances here are actually one chance in, I said it was one chance in 78. It's not, it's one chance in 78,000. And if you look at that, it's obvious really. If you divide that in by 1 or whatever, get your calculator out and fiddle with those, you soon find it's actually one chance in 78,000, and that's according to the Lab News analysis. Now, these are the only quantitative analyses I have seen. If others come out, we were interested in looking at it. So we see that these deaths are incredibly improbable, and they are the analysis. So you can take your pick. That's the best we have. First wave, one chance in nearly 6,000, one chance in nearly 250,000, and here this analysis, one chance in 78,740, so very improbable events. Good things about this, well, my apologies, I got it wrong. Good things about this is a lot of you picked it up very, very quickly. So I am very keenly peer-reviewed, which of course is a good thing. But lots of you also said that there was another Syringe attack involving the same political party in Germany. So I did check that out. And of course, syringes are a rather efficient way to injure people, aren't they? Because it's via the parenteral route. Enteral means via the GI tract. Parenteral means via injection or some other route, and it gets into the system really quite quickly. So I did have a quick look at this. ADF co-leader hospitalized after syringe attack. These are the reports here that I could find. Now, putting it together, Alternative for Deutschland co-leader Tino Chrupalla, apologies for the pronunciation, is in an intensive care unit after he was attacked reportedly with a syringe during an election campaign event in Ingolstadt, Bavaria. This is on the 5th of October 2023. This was reported. So I assume the attack was the day before, on the 4th. Apparently there was superficial redness and swelling noted in hospital, consistent with a localised event as well. But then the reports get really vague. So possibly syringe seen, syringe possibly found, 2 suspects apparently detained. It remains unverified. So I couldn't find anything definitive on that. And so there we go, a possible syringe attack. But then, and I am going somewhere with this, that reminded me of this event, echoes of the 10th of September 1978. I don't know if he was a journalist for the BBC or working for the BBC, but assassinated with a poison-tipped umbrella. And if you're old enough, you might remember this. It was a really big story at the time, the poisonous umbrella. So this is what happened here. September 1978, Georgy Markov was on his way to work at the BBC when he was jabbed in the back of the leg by a mysterious man wielding an umbrella, who then ran away. Bulgarian dissident fatally poisoned with... I'm not going to say that because I'm not sure if YouTube will allow it. Fatally poisoned with this known toxin as he waits for a bus on Waterloo Bridge in central London. So just standing there, and the idea is that this person came up with an umbrella, stabbed him in the back of the leg, and that injected a tiny pellet. From what I remember from the news reports, they did find this pellet. So the umbrella must have had like an injector thing on the end to inject this toxin with this particular toxin on, which I don't think I'll be allowed to say, but that's the toxin there. So he went to work as normal, carried on going to work, fell ill, and by the next day was bedridden at St James's Hospital. Doctors surveyed the small puncture wound in his thigh, and I think they found the pellet with the toxin in it, from what I remember. Died in hospital, aged 49, 3 days following the umbrella ambush. So this is the toxin here. Again, I'm not going to say it out because I think rightly YouTube don't want people talking about toxins, these particular toxins, because the bad guys could be talking about them and giving you information on it, which I'm certainly not doing, although it is a lot of public domain stuff. So this particular stuff is a toxin. It's produced in the seeds of castor oil plants, which is well recognised. And the LD50, so that's the dose required to kill 50% of experimental subjects, usually rats, is 22 micrograms per kilogram. So pretty toxic stuff. Orally, much less toxic, but will make you incredibly ill. And for what I remember, causes pain and bleeding from mucous membranes. I've never seen a case, thankfully, in A&E or in intensive care where I've worked, or in any medical ward that I've worked on. Thankfully, we don't see it, but the risk is there. And that brought to mind this. This is the Rubicabana incident, convicted of 3 murders and 10 attempted murders in Southport. And you've got to be real. People have gone to prison in my country for talking about this. So I'm just going to quote directly from the BBC. When the search resumed, detective found a plastic bag containing a variety of seeds that is used to produce the poison. Direct from the BBC, so I don't get arrested. By the time the packages were delivered to neighbours, Rubicabana had already been researching mass murder and genocide online. So this is kind of the thing that's concerning at the moment. Information for mass murder and genocide is available online. Mass murder, of course, is killing lots of people. Genocide is, as far as I know, the term genocide originated after the Nuremberg trials, as far as I know. I didn't check this before I came on air, but as far as I know. And it means the systematic murder of a particular group of people. So the Nazis attempted to eradicate, to kill, murder every Jew in the world. That is a genocide. Rwanda, I think it was the Houthis killed the Tutsis, was it? I forget which way around it was in Rwanda. Anyway, but there was one group trying to kill another group. So genocide is mass murder, as I understand it, on racial grounds. It's the ultimate form of racism. Deliberate attempt to eliminate a people, group, or a race. And that, of course, is still a threat. Because sadly, there is a lot of racism still around in the world. Anyway, back to the Rubicabana thing. Police found other equipment which could have been used to produce this toxic substance in Rubicabana's home. So an attempt to produce it. And that's one of the reasons that this particular toxin is concerning, because you can make it from basically plant products which are available online from castor oil seeds. Other people are probably working on this without our knowledge, unfortunately. And that's kind of the crunch of this video, really, if there is a crunch. It's maybe some disconnected thoughts, but current national threat level, the threat to the UK, England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland in all forms of terrorism is substantial. So we are at risk of this sort of activity. So I think basically what I'm trying to do is I am quite worried about things in the UK at the moment, and the potential for a lot of people to be murdered is there, as we've seen. As regards the German data where we started, of course, we don't have anything definitive on that, but the events are improbable. There's been quite a few coincidences over the past few years, but we've talked about those before. Sorry if that's a bit rambling, but I'm just trying to kind of crystallise my concerns, really. I might be able to succeed in doing that more, but I feel that it's nice to communicate. Anyway, but thank you for watching.